Hello, Martin here. Another property clinic. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, please. That'd be great. And this is Ask Martin Monday's video version. So if you're on my Twitter account, which is @TVMartinRoberts, hashtag Ask Martin Monday, on a Monday, you can ask me questions about anything. In case you wonder what I'm wearing, because I'm wearing black today. I'm fetching. Well, actually, no, it's more significant than that, because it is actually a t-shirt. And it's from this amazing group called Animals Asia, and they've got a campaign called The Only Cure is Kindness. They do some amazing stuff in the Far East, in China and Vietnam, protecting largely moon bears, which you might be aware of. They're these beautiful Asiatic black bears which have got a crescent on their stomach. Moon and sun bears are very similar. They're just treated like you wouldn't believe in China. And in Vietnam, other animals, and I'm sure in that part of the world, get treated pretty terribly. So they're out there doing an amazing job of rescuing these bears and other animals, taking them to sanctuaries. There's one sanctuary in Chengdu, which is in China. And I've been to the sanctuary. It's run by an amazing lady called Jill Robinson. The whole charity is run by Jill Robinson. And it's amazing. And she just does an amazing job of rescuing these bears from these terrible conditions. So I'm doing my little bit to support them. And hopefully we'll get a few bears saved and taken out of truly terrible conditions where they're locked up for their entire lives in like a cage. And it's all to do with Chinese medicine, sort of, not really, and they're drained of their bile. You don't want to know this stuff, I know, but in the most barbaric conditions. So it really is terrible, and they are doing something about it though. So these bears are being rescued and they do a great job. So they've got this whole campaign called Only Cure is Kindness, which I reckon is a pretty good slogan anyway, don't you? Right, for the statement in a moment. Yeah, the only cure is kindness. And if you get a chance, help Animals Asia. Animalsasia.org is the website. So anyway, back to your questions. Thank you for these, as ever. Dan C. Hello, Dan C. Have you ever been tempted to buy a property during Homes Under the Hammer filming? Or are you not allowed? We're not allowed. No. It'd be a really bad end to the show, or even part of the show, if I was like, buy something and I interview myself. Hello, why did you buy the property? Well, I thought it looked quite nice. Did you really? Yes, exactly. Well, what are you going to do with it? Well, I'm quite done. Yep, yeah. Anyway. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Who'd have thought? Apparently, I've become a bit of a internet, social media, what's that thing, viral video thing. Apparently there's something going around with me playing the piano. Well, not really playing the piano, I'm doing this when I ask questions, but not really that. I just sort of go think, it's sort of like that, and somebody's done this amazing job of putting all these clips of me doing that after I've asked a question on the show to the people who buy the properties, and they've put it to music, like piano music, and it is hysterical. So we've gone to a lot of trouble, so thank you very much whoever you were. It's just for some reason, there's no rhyme or reason to these things, is there? It's taken off and it's had lots of views. So so until I'm usurped by some trombone playing cat, I shall enjoy my 15 minutes of fame, as Andy Warhol said. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's doing the rounds. Just put in Martin Roberts piano, playing imaginary piano or something like that, I don't know. Whatever, I'm sure you can find it. Here's an interesting question from Mandrake Fraser. Have you featured many houses with blue plaques on Homes Under the Hammer? Well, I don't know if I've featured any, Mandrake. Blue plaques, they're things that say if somebody's important to live there. Normally a historic character. No, I can't remember. I don't think No, I don't think we ever have. I once saw a blue plaque that I thought was absolutely marvellous, and it was for this sailing bloke who discovered some passage in, I don't know, way to get to India quicker or something, I don't know, whatever. But in this blue packet, it was kind of like a very quick, brief thing about his life. And it was blah, 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 blah. And in September 1747, he was killed by pirates. It's like, blimey. Still, he's got a blue plaque. That was. This is from Steve. Obviously, slightly out of date, because this was a couple of weeks ago. Hi Martin, the autumn equinox occurs tomorrow, Tuesday, which is the 22nd of September, and the new season starts. Autumn is my favourite season. What's yours? Oh, it's always a tricky one. So I have to say, for some reason, I have a huge love of autumn. I think my first ever recollection as a child, what was yours? I don't know. My first ever recollection was in autumn, or at autumn, because I sort of remember stuff. And there's always, I don't know, as a kid, it's the start of the build up to Christmas, I guess. It was conkers, it was Halloween, it was bonfire night. So I always used to love it, and I used to love the change of the colours. I think as I've got older, probably my favourite season is now spring, just because it's so rejuvenating, and everything's positive, and it's just like, yeah, here comes the spring and the bulbs and good riddance to the dark nights. Yeah, so it's probably spring now. Right, Catherine Williams. Hi, Martin. Catherine, this is a terrible story. Now that leasehold properties are becoming more and more difficult to sell due to freehold scandal and our cladding scandal, will you be advising followers to buy freehold commonhold instead? So, right, if you don't know this story, it's a terrible, terrible story. Following the Grenfell tragedy, they obviously, and quite rightly, tightened up on safety requirements and fire standards in blocks of flats. Absolutely right. But they're required, they're basically certifying the blocks of flats that pass the standards with this particular certificate. And it turns out that now mortgage providers are requiring this certificate before they will provide a mortgage on these properties. So anyone who's trying to sell, unless the person who's buying is buying with cash, as in savings, if they're relying on a mortgage, then unless they've got one of these certificates, they are unable to sell their property. It's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. The only thing I can suggest is grouping together and trying to get some government support and just lobbying, because, you know, people are being faced with tens of thousands of pounds as an option if everybody in the block clubs together to like put all the cladding on or sort out the fire certificate or whatever it might be. And you know, most people haven't got that kind of money. So, you know, those people who are in this situation just got to club together and hold tight, and hopefully we're going to get some outside support for you. In terms of leasehold and freehold, I mean, in general, if you can go for a freehold property, you know, you are so much more in control. It's not always possible, but I would say if you can, buy freehold. Okay, next question. Andy Jenks. My brother Bob wants to convert his loft into a recording studio, but my sister-in-law Katie wants to create a games room. She plays esports. What are you backing? Or who are you backing? Well, you know, I mean, I'm in the kind of media, so I will go with the recording studio any day. If he wants a quiet life, he's probably going to have to do the games room. So is there not an option that you could build perhaps, or he could build perhaps, a recording studio in, say, a shed? Huge fan of sheds. So he could create a really nice soundproof shed, and maybe that would work. And then you get the best of both worlds. Katie can have the attic as her games room, and Bob can have his shed as a recording studio. There you go. Roy Pavitt, majorly important question. Chips, curry sauce or gravy? You know what? I don't have either. I like chips with ketchup. I mean, in so much ketchup that it might as well be gravy, because I like to put so much on. But yeah, for me, a bit of a purist, salt and vinegar and ketchup. Never been a fan of curry sauce or gravy on chips, although I do love curry. Archie. Hello, Archie. Martin. If you could host any other show on TV, property or not, what would it be and why? Well, I would love, actually, to host a chat show, because I think I'd ask some good questions, because I'm quite a good interviewer, I think. So, you know, I like giving people a chance to breathe. Remember Michael Parkinson? Interviewers who just got the best stories from people by allowing them to tell their stories rather than interject. And so I would definitely like to have a go at that. I did travel. I really enjoyed. Oh gosh, yeah, excuse me, I don't want some time. I do know I have some time because I've spent the last 3 weeks doing my book, which is very exciting because it went out this week to every single primary school in the UK. Yes, check out sadsville.co.uk to see how we did, because it went out to every single primary school and in the UK. And if you haven't, please, if you spread the word to anybody you know who's a primary school teacher, or if they didn't get a copy of the book, sadsville.co.uk. That's what it's all about. I would like to do a travel show again. You know, I was actually watching Michael Palin, such a star, who did Around the World in 80 Days and all those travel shows. But he's doing a retrospective or introspective of all his travel shows. And it just reminded me how great they were. And yeah, I think one of those travelogues where I travel and meet people on the way, I think would be really fun. So I'd like to do either of those for sure. Hello, I am Matthew. Interesting question. Hi, Martin. You are wanted by a shadowy government security force because you have stumbled on a very dark secret, like in the Bourne films. You are able to put your mind into an animal's body to evade capture and find safety. What would it be and why? Well, that's up there with my top 5 ever best questions. I have to say, hello, I'm Matthew. That's awesome. Well, I think I would be a duck. right? I've always liked ducks because I think they're really cool because they're part boat and part plane, and that would be really useful if you're trying to evade capture. For a start, there's lots of ducks, so you can be like really anonymous. Like you don't want to be a whale or something because that's going to really stick out. But yeah, no, if you're duck, right, you just like blend in with the quack quack crowd, and then yeah, if you have to get away, you can either swim away or you can fly. I mean, really cool. Yeah, so probably a bit duck. Yeah. Joe, hello Joe, how are you feeling this week? Up, down, somewhere in the middle. Ugh, I'm cheesed off like everybody else. Aren't you? Ugh. Like, no. As long as the kids keep going back to school, I guess I can cope. But please don't stop the kids going to school. Everything else is like, ugh, when will it all end? La-di-da. Joy, I'm asking why we're watching ×3 repeats of Holmes and Hammer No New Projects. Well, there are. The way they do it on Holmes and Hammer, that's very interesting because they'll drop a new show in between older shows. So it's not like a whole new series. They'll drop older ones next to new ones. So don't give up hope, Joy, because there's definitely new projects on the cards, and we definitely filmed lots before lockdown. So there will be new episodes of Holmes and Hammer. Do not fret. Wendy Clark, hello Wendy. Do you believe in ghosts? Ooh. Have you ever seen one? Well, do I believe in them? So yeah, probably, or spirits or something. Ghosts as in kind of ghosts. I'm not sure. You know what? I've never seen one. So I guess the only real way to believe in them, it would be to see one, because otherwise you just think everyone's just lying, right? But I think if you did see one, you'd probably be a little bit freaked out by it. That's because it's like, wow, that's a ghost. That puts everything on a different kind of footing, doesn't it? Yag. So yeah, it's probably believe in them, but no, never seen one. Janie Mode. Hello, Janie. Do you think it's harder for first-time buyers to get on the property ladder? My youngest son and his fiance will be living with us for the end of October, as getting a mortgage isn't proving easily. That's not a problem for me, but naturally they want their own place. Do I think it's hard? It's always been hard for first-time buyers. When I started out, I luckily I got some money from my granny, who sadly passed away, but left me a little bit of money, and I put that towards a deposit on my first house. But I had a 15% mortgage, right? So I was paying so much money towards the mortgage, so it wasn't always glossy and glue and wonderful in the past. It is obviously really hard for first-time buyers now, and certainly, trying to buy in places where the prices are really high is just almost unbelievably difficult. But what I would say is just think about, maybe for your first home, don't just buy in your ideal location, buy somewhere that you can add value to and it's affordable, and then do up that property, and then use the money you make, hopefully from doing a good job when you sell it on, to just start building a bit more of a pot of money, and gradually working it up and all that kind of stuff. And also don't buy in the most expensive areas. Buy sort of what we call the ripple effect, slightly further away from where the most expensive places are. And then so there are ways to get on the ladder. You can joint opportunities with friends or family. That's another opportunity. As long as it's all sorted out and everyone knows what's going on, that's absolutely great. Leslie Bowman. Hello, Leslie. If money were no object, what kind of property and lifestyle would be your ideal? Mine's a Victorian rectory, and I would be Lady Beautiful, holding the village fete on my land and judging the local flower show. Ooh, or maybe the little hut in Death in Paradise. Well, I think, anything overlooking the sea with an infinity pool and a nice climate year round. So probably a Caribbean island and a house with an infinity pool and a view of the ocean and within striking distance of the sea, so that you could hear the waves crashing. I think that would be amazing. Falaz. Hi Marty, did you ever get stopped by people who recognise you in the street while filming Homes and That? Absolutely. All the time. It's very funny. One of my favourite things is we were filming the show, and I was in the street outside, and there were these kids obviously on holiday, school holidays. They were watching Holmes and Hammer on the telly, and they looked at the telly, and they looked out the window and they saw me off the telly on the street. The little faces were just priceless. But yeah, I do get all sorts of lovely people coming up to me, and that's all good. And that is it. Oh, okay. Well, that's brilliant. Thank you so much for your questions. Yeah. Check out sadsville.co.uk, see what I've been up to with my book. Check out animalsasia.org to find out about the moon bears and the wonderful work that they do. Send your questions on Ask Martin Monday to @tvmartinroberts. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you again next week.